I would like to invite my colleague and also the head of the integrated program division of the Regional Infrastructure Development Agency, Ministry of Public Works, Dr. Eng Mangapul Nababan, who will deliver the presentation of the integrated urban and infrastructure development in Indonesia. So, Pak Mangapul, time is yours, and floor is yours, of course, yeah? Please give warm applause to him.
Thank you, Andy. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Mangapul Nababan. I'm representing Regional Infrastructure Development Agency, one of the unit in the Ministry of Public Works and Housing, Indonesia. And it's an honor for me to be here, also very excited, yeah, to talk to you today. We will talk about how we integrate urban and infrastructure development in Indonesia. And it's quite a little bit practical than we discussed maybe these 2 days. Most of you talking about the spatial planning implementation in your countries or unit. And today we will talk maybe more close to what we are discussing recently about the Indonesian new capital city. Yeah, and what's the implication of the Indonesian new capital city, and also to other region in Indonesia, particularly maybe in this Kalimantan island. Yeah, I will divide my presentation into the 4 part, yeah, Bapak Ibu, and also the steering committee tell me you can speak in Bahasa also, so I will maybe combine between Indonesia and Bahasa and English, yeah. And some of you, I see some of you are Japanese. Even though I graduated from Japan University, I cannot speak Japanese well. Only can say konnichiwa and yoroshiku onegaishimasu. Okay, we will talk about issues on urban and infrastructure development recently in Indonesia, and also policy direction, and integrated infrastructure planning for urban regional development. And I will highlight also what we call a National Urban Development Project, NUDP, as a collaboration platform to respond what we are now facing in the urban development, particularly in Indonesia. Okay, next please, yeah, Mr. Dava. Okay, I think most of you already discussed in this condition, yeah. Maybe next please. Next, Pak. Next slide, please. Yeah. Okay. Next slide. Yeah. Okay. Indonesia, as we may know, yeah, we are facing rapid urbanization, yeah, and also 75% our location in the are prone to flood, disaster, and land subsidence. And still less than 15% urban population has access to safe and adequate drinking water. And less than 9% still have access to adequate and equitable sanitation. And also only 4 for 10 people in Indonesia has live in the substandard houses here. And in the Ministry of Public Works, we are mandated to handle infrastructure, water resources, dams, irrigation, etc., and also road and settlement infrastructure, and also building houses. As you maybe already visited the IKN, all the infrastructure has been built in the IKN, and support IKN is provided by the Ministry of Public Works. And the last one, I think, is very important. Urban infrastructure financing is highly dependent on the state and regional budgets. I think we will talk more about the urban infrastructure financing later on. Okay, next one is we also facing the global challenges related to the urban infrastructure development, and also particularly Paris agreements and the framework on disaster risk reduction, sustainable SDGs, yeah, sustainable development goals and new urban agenda. And Indonesia is committed to achieve those global targets, yeah, such as provision of basic infrastructure, drinking water, sanitation, housing for sustainable cities, yeah. And what is the, maybe later on, yeah, next please. Next. Okay. Talking about the policy, I think we can skip, yeah. Next. Yeah. We have a collaboration with Bappenas and also Ministry of Home Affairs to deliver a target containing the Indonesia 2045 related to the infrastructure in urban area, when we are targeted to be in the 5th developed countries and largest DV, yeah, and also in 2036 we are escaping from the middle income trap. We will have a 5.6 GDP per capita, and one is the very, I think it's very important in the draft of long-term development plan that has been launched by Bappenas recently in front of the candidate of president. Yeah, the metropolitan area will contribute to the GDP growth also. I think it was very important to be delivered, and then what are the consequences of the target to be supported by infrastructure. And I think we can skip the SDGs. Yeah, next, Pak, next. And then before, okay. We are here now, yeah, as we are entering the 2024. Most of this target, yeah, in the National Medium-Term Development Plan from 2020 to 2024, I think it is achieved, yeah. For example, 70% household have access to adequate housing, household have access to adequate drinking water, and other target. And for example, in the new toll roads, 2,500 kilometers is already achieved, and also new national roads is already achieved. But what we are still struggling now is what is the target about urban infrastructure support in 6 metropolitan areas is still in struggling, yeah. And there are many targets already achieved within this 2024, and maybe we still preparing what we will do in 2025 and beyond 2025, according to the new president or new administration. And what is the response of the Ministry of Public Works to prepare the next period of infrastructure planning and programming? We consider a population of more than 2,070 million. Next, please, Pak. Yeah, we considering a population of more than 2,000 and next, yeah, million, such a wide area coverage. So we still think about the budget. Yeah, recently we have around 160 trillion rupiahs. Yeah, it's including the budget for the IKN, but regularly we will, the national budget for infrastructure, Ministry of Public Works and Housing, may be around 150 trillion rupiahs, yeah. And we still have a lack of, a gap of financing infrastructure, because the ideal budget for infrastructure to cover the 2,070 million population, we calculate is about 1,500 trillion rupiahs. And one of the ultimate challenges that Regional Infrastructure Development Agency, the Ministry of Public Works, we have to deal with how to set the infrastructure development program prioritization as a means to reach the maximum benefit, yeah, and in the acceleration and equitable distribution of national economy. And that makes sense, yeah, because we know that we have a spatial plan as the guidance to set what infrastructure should be built in certain area. But because we are also have the budget constraint, we need to select the priority areas, yeah, which are strategic in nature and also have a major impact on the wider region. And what I'm showing here now, yes, we have the implementation, we call it implementation of spatial planning into development program. Yeah, how to connect with the spatial plan and also development plan that coming from the national development plan from Bappenas and also from the elected president. Yeah, and because maybe if you may know, yeah, maybe you also experience about how to implement the spatial plan in your countries. The document usually in the end part of document they have a long list indicative program that should be constructed or should be implemented in the maybe 5 or 10 years. But we also have like a political agenda in the Indonesian agenda, yeah, and we call it the National Long-Term Development Plan that will be divided into 5 years according to the president election mission, yeah. And then what we are doing in the Ministry of Public Works, yeah, we are synthesizing all the plan, development plan in the long term and also the medium term plan, spatial plan in the national level, provincial level, and the regency municipal level, and also the Ministry of Public Works consisting of road plan and water resources development plan and urban settlement plan and also housing plan and sectoral plan. Also we have to consolidate and communicate with the other energy infrastructure, communication and telecommunication, many things, and other development plan who implement the spatial plan. So we synthesize all the plans into what we call the RPW or Integrated Infrastructure Planning for Urban and Regional Development. We call it RPW. It's not a statutory under presidential decree. It's just an internal the Ministry of Public Works. But why we set it in the Ministry of Public Works? We know that priority areas should be determined in the certain time. Not, for example, we set the target in 5 years. So we have a dynamic in the political situation, also the community people ask the more urgent infrastructure should be provided in their area, and then we set the RPW or integrated infrastructure planning for urban and regional. I think from now on I say the plan. So we still have the flexibility to set the target, and then it's equipped with the information and the function of supported areas, and also where is the areas should be supported and time frame, indication of the output, how many kilometers, how many liters per second, and so on, and also indicated the amount of cost, of course, combining whether it's coming from the national budget or provincial budget, or we are now promoting in the PPP source budget, like inviting the private sector to also invest in the infrastructure. And we also have the what we call it Rakorbang or Coordination Forum for Regional Infrastructure Development. Usually we talk, we are preparing a program for annual program. For example, now we are preparing for 2025. We talk to Bappenas first, to the interministerial level, and then we get together with the provincial level in the next step. And then from the beginning of next year, 2024, we will have a very detailed plan. So for example, it's already, the land acquisition already clean and clear, and also the DED is already in there, and the budget also have been supported, has a commitment supported by the local government and other stakeholders. And then we are coming for the budgeting process in every annual year. Yeah. And then The plan, I think, is not so complicated, but I still have 2 minutes, yeah. But the best plan, yeah, the best thing, I think, coming in the chapter 6, chapter 7, yeah. What is the regional infrastructure scenario? We talk about it and we invite all the stakeholders to talk about it. So they have spatial plan, they have a local government plan, we combine it and then set the target into the 5 or 10 years and then slice again into 1 year. And we put it into the system. For example, in the surrounding area, in the IKN, we also have a target, yeah. We also have the infrastructure set. And next part. Okay, next. Okay, next. Okay, let's see. For example, we in the Kalimantan area, we divide it to every province have the plan, the infrastructure plan, and then we scrutinize again, yeah, scrutinize again to every province. For example, in the showcase, next slide, Pak, we have a scenario to what is the infrastructure should be provided to serve the IKN and Samarinda at the heart and Balikpapan at the Muscat, for example. And then we identify, yeah, and we calculate what is needed. For example, currently the ongoing infrastructure already ongoing, like Sepaku Semoy Dam is already there, but it will be supported by Lambakan Dam in the near future. And so, for example, Samarinda Bontang Toll Road is still in the preparation, and also IKN Imers Tunnel is still in the preparation. So we are combining the plan by formulated by Otorita IKN, and then what is the formulated in the from the Ministry of Public Works. So I think in the next part. Okay. I will talk a little, if I still have 1 minute. We have a National Urban Development Project as a collaboration platform in city level, yeah, in city level. So NUDP, yeah, we consist of National Urban Policy and City Positioning Study, and also scenarios and strategies, like we call it like National Urban Development Strategies. It should be synchronized with what Pak Eko now is formulating through the revision of National Spatial Plan of Indonesia. Should be consist of the change of system of city in Indonesia after IKN is established. Yeah. And then integrated city planning. Yeah, we have 13 cities like a pilot project to be implemented in, and then we have the Ministry of Home Affairs will handle the capital investment planning. They educate the local government to implement or to find the other source of funding to infrastructure development in the city. But I think that's all for me. Yeah, in the near future, maybe next slide, Pak. Sebelumnya mungkin, sebelumnya, okay. I think you already know the KPI in the IKN, yeah, as a world-class city for all. But our message is, okay, we have new global cities in the near future, yeah, IKN, Nusantara, but we also have to anticipate what's the impact. What about other cities, yeah? Like the previous challenge, we talk about the inadequate access to water, access to sanitation, and many things. So the balance is still there, yeah. So we support what is the global hub cities, but we also have to anticipate the rest of the cities. There are many cities, yeah. Maybe if we talk about the population, we have around 270 population. Maybe 70% will live in the urban area. Maybe the IKN only consists maybe 1 or 2 million. And what about the other 70% of 270 population? I think that's all for me. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about our plan, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Pak Mangapul, for your presentation. I think at least two big points from him that the government has already have a mechanism for prioritizing the projects and also the program as we see. Maybe the term is Rakor Bangwil and so on, yeah. And at least it also participative by involving the governor, the local government, and the local people. And so the second thing is about what they are trying to focus on the NUDP, National Urban Development Program. There are 4 components that we see. It's not only talk about national urban policy, but also the strategy, NUDS, National Urban Development Strategy, the capital investment plan, and also the infrastructure project, yeah, that let's see in the next 2 years what it be resulted.